out there. Happy morning, happy Monday to everyone. If you can hear me, put join VIP Facebook in the chat. I was about to give y'all another long sentence, but join Facebook VIP in the chat because it is going down over in our new private VIP Facebook group. And for those of you VIPs who are in the chat, let the other people know. Let them know in the chat. Like he not lying. We having fun over there, and they're getting a lot of insight into Veil beyond the YouTube channel for sure. So we're having an amazing time over there, and it is called Veil's Important People Community. Yes, it's long. And if somebody can maybe link it in the chat, I forgot to do that before I jumped on here to throw the link in there. But if someone can link it in the chat, that'd be even better. Greatly appreciate it in advance. So today I wanted to come this morning with some topics. I am fairly prepared. I noticed we had some freezing in the countdown video again. That's why I didn't bother playing any other videos. We'll see. I think I may have figured out the issue. It may not be my internet connection at all. It may actually be my StreamYard storage. Like it may be too much on there. So when I add these video files, then it starts to make it glitch. So I think that might be the issue. We'll know for sure because I have a video that I will play a little later, but I got to back up too if it starts to glitch on us. But today, first of all, I'm moving faster than my notes. Remember to please like this video. It definitely helps us grow. Remember, we are on our road to 50K, hopefully by the end of the year. And I think if y'all help me, we can get there. By myself, it's a little touch and go. But if you guys can continue to like these videos, share the videos, spread the word about my randomness over here. And yeah, let's continue to build our community. Also, so for today's topics, I pulled a couple stories. One is 50 Cent versus his son, I think it's Marquise. I'll know in a minute because I got the article up here. He and his son, and that father-son dynamic that some of us are familiar with in our families. It's not, to me, isolated to them being a celebrity, 50 Cent being a celebrity and all of that. I think some of us can relate to this story on other levels in our personal life and our non-celebrity lives. And that's why I wanted to pull it. For me, it wasn't about 50. I'm like not a huge fan or follower or anything like that, but it was the story itself. Like I told you I study everything. So, and then we have the story that came out. I noticed it over the weekend. I think Tyler Perry has fired his accounting staff. Once I read it, I think it's a little past tense, like it's an older story. But it was also kind of interesting, especially from the perspective of those of us who are entrepreneurs. And then some of us who work in corporate America who've experienced some shenanigans with people not doing their jobs properly. And then we have the story of the crazed tenant. For those of us who are property owners and have tenants, some of us have some horror stories. Hopefully none as horrific as this one, where the landlord was placed in the freezer. So you can imagine how that might have had to happen to put us in that situation, or put her in that situation. So we'll talk about that story. And this is from a Chicago lady who did it. It happened in Chicago. Of course, it happened here in my hometown. And then we have the story of the epic viral trending YouTube story last week of Armon Wiggins dragging Jason Lee and exposing Jason Lee allegedly. And just because I follow those sort of things, I do watch other people who blog and all of that. And it's interesting to me, and I know some of you do as well. So I'll share it with those of you who care. Those of you who don't, I get it. And that's why I'll save it more towards the end of this live. And then we have the update story on Sweetie Pie's Upper Crust location that we know now has been closed. I'm sorry, y'all didn't mean to do that in the Mac, but we know that it has been closed. and that now the update is that they are actually auctioning off the equipment in the restaurant. And so just covering, showing y'all that. I just realized I actually went by there while I was out of town and last week when I was in St. Louis, and I didn't add that video here, but we'll figure it out. I'll share it in our VIP. There we go. That's another reason for our VIP text community. I mean, VIP Facebook group. So I'll share the video that I recorded, but didn't add into the stream there. So jump over there, and I'll have it up there later on this afternoon if you want to see it. So with that, let's get into these topics. So first, we're going to start with hold on, y'all, because I just added the ability to share the screen here. So bear with me. Amateur at work. Here we go. And then there we go. We're going to share it. What happens? Oh, I got to operate it from over here, though. Yeah, of course. Let me pull it where I can see it better. All right. So we have, it says here, Tyler Perry fired his accountants after the audit reveals that the IRS, not him, because usually we're used to the celebrities owing the IRS money. We rarely hear about the IRS owing them money. And unlike us, well, I haven't received a return in I don't know how many years, over a decade. But for those who get returns, don't end up owing money every year, we don't be seeing this kind of payback payout from the IRS. But yeah, the IRS ended up owing Tyler Perry $9 million for overpayments of taxes. And then he shared this story. He spoke to a panel at the Earn Your Leisure 2022 Investment Fest in Atlanta, where he shared insights on some of the tough lessons that he learned from making major financial mistakes. And for me, as I started to read this article, I'm like, yeah, this is good, because those of us who are entrepreneurs and, have learned, gone the hard way by the bootstraps, so to speak, we've all made most of us have made major financial mistakes in our journey, because we ain't got the guidance. But anyway, they went on to say that he was quoted as saying, "Money isn't something I had, and nobody taught me that taxes had to be paid. I didn't go to college, but I paid for Harvard many times over in the mistakes that I made." And I've paid for Harvard at least once so far. No, one and a half times for sure. And I'll tell that story later on. So Perry went on to recall his arduous audit process with the unprofessional agents that went on for 3 years. Can you imagine 3 years of dealing with that? So this audit went on for 3 years. And he says, "I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in accounting with accountants for the audit, and I'm getting so mad and so frustrated," Perry said. "We got to the end of the audit and the IRS owed me $9 million, he added. He said, "Hell no. How did you miss me paying $9 million? Exactly. Oh my God." Perry then joked, "I had to stop going to H&R Block for my taxes at some point." He said, he continued, "Listen to me." I can see him saying this too, because he gets all inspirational with everything he says. He says, "Listen to me. In business, it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to learn. You have to learn. But don't let it keep happening over and over again. That's one thing about me. I'll let you make a million mistakes, but you can't do the same things over and over again." So that's hold on, y'all. Y'all know I'm amateur at work. Oh, I could have just hit stop sharing right there. Okay. But for those of us, again, who've been through, this and life in general, like, you're learning when you don't have mentors, you don't have guidance, and you got to just figure it out the hard way. You said HR Block, no CPA, financial advisor. Yeah. But yeah, we've learned that, you make more mistakes is very costly, but the key is not to get down on ourselves so much about those mistakes that we make, but to learn from them and move on and don't repeat them. And I'm not sitting here preaching like I haven't made some mistakes like 10 times. And I'm like, when the hell you gonna get it? Like, you know better. Why you keep doing this? But the goal is to keep trying, keep striving, because each time we improve, we're failing forward. So a failure doesn't mean you're always going backwards. Sometimes you're failing forward. Most times you're failing forward. Yeah, that's messed up too many times. You said so they messed up too many times. Yeah, yeah, and he didn't go into details in this, at least, or they didn't, with the details of how many years was this of him paying up to over $9 million over what he should have been paying. That's a crazy amount, though. When you think about it, that could take care of many people's lifetimes, and he got people he's paying and this is their job, and it's just haphazard. But that's sometimes the issue that some of these celebrities have, especially people on his level, billionaires, where they have people working for them, and the people get careless because they're like, oh, they got money, whatever. Oh, this says they owe $3 million this year. Oh, well, let's write the check, versus saying that's a lot of money, let's make sure this okay, like let's make sure this right. But they like, he rich, he got it, all right, let's pay it. Y'all know the IRS is going to drag their feet paying it back. Right. And again, I don't know exactly how. I was gathering that the story was kind of older, like it happened sometime back, but I don't know how long ago and if he got the money back and all of that. We're going to be helping to pay this money back. Yeah, absolutely, with our tax money. But yeah, I actually I had put a little note to say this actually reminded me of a $90,000 lesson I learned in business that I'm gonna share because I'm gonna have story times on the Patreon rather, where I'll have videos where I kind of tell y'all these stories. And, we'll probably go live with some of them too, where I'll tell y'all these life lesson stories and how I had a $90,000 lesson I learned in 2015. So but yeah, so that's Tyler's story. Let me see what y'all talking about in the comments. I'm gonna look at the star comments, and says, if you miss $9 million of my money, you're getting more than fired. Right, you're gonna get sued too. You can't do anything other than that, old soul, because that might get you some guy in prison or something. So Trikesha says, but how you miss $9 million? You rich. Exactly. Well, he's a billionaire, so he owns islands and all of that. He would spend $9 million probably on a plane or something, like a toy. So must be nice. Renee Benson's, well, on the bright side, the IRS owes him, and not the accountants. Exactly. That I like your way of thinking. You're like me, always trying to look at the glasses half full. Because if it was the accountants, he probably would never see that money again. So at least he knows he will get it. They'll, like somebody just said, they'll drag their feet probably, but he'll get it. He will get that money, or he can use it as a credit towards whatever he is owing in the future. Because with that kind of life and amount of money he made, he probably owes, unless he's doing a Trump. I would talk more about that, but people get bored when I talk politics. I tried that earlier on in this channel. That didn't go nowhere. But anyway, What's Up G says, can't trust nobody these days. Play with my money is like playing with my emotions. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you know what? I've heard a lot of celebrities, like Oprah is one. I heard Kanye is another. I ain't promoting him, but y'all know what I'm saying. Kanye is another celebrity who I've heard say that they write their own checks. They sign all their own checks. Kanye, I think he says he does it every Friday or something. And I remember many, many years ago, well over probably close to 2 decades ago, I remember Oprah talking about how she learned that she basically had to sign all her checks. And when you have that kind of money, you have to keep your eyes on it. There's a few examples of people who didn't do that, and the hardships they faced, although they had enough wealth to last a couple lifetimes, and then they're living rags to riches like most of us, or I should say paycheck to paycheck like most of us. And Dennis Rodman, I plan to do a story on this at some point when I can get around to all this stuff. But Dennis Rodman had a lady he trusted. She was like his financial advisor, and he ended up handing over his wealth to her to manage for him and pay his bills and all this other stuff. Come to find out, she was a scammer, and she was scamming multiple athletes, and she's in prison right now. There's a whole story I want to do on that, but he lost his wealth because he wasn't managing it. And then of course, we know R. Kelly. Part of it is literacy and all of those things, but it's important to even on smaller levels, to pay attention to your money, balance your checkbooks, and all of that. A lot of us end up, if we don't pay attention to those auto drafts and stuff, find out we funding somebody's gas money for the week or whatever, and getting overcharged and not knowing it or not realizing it for months. So says, how does the IRS make a $9 million mistake? Sounds suspicious to me. Also, I don't necessarily take it as though it was a IRS mistake, because they don't process our taxes. They take the money. They take the money, and then during, if we get audited, then they do the work. But for the most part, they take what we submit as face value, like, oh, you say you owe this or blah, blah, blah. Or you haven't paid, and we finally audited on our end, and I got that bill where they like, you owe this. So yeah, I take it like his accountants are the ones who jacked up. The IRS just took $9 million. Like, oh, okay, this sound about right. All right, thank you. And not until the audit did they realize it was the opposite way around. Louisiana lady. All right, you from where my family from, my father's side. The IRS wants us to pay on time. They're in no hurry to refund. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And then last one is Devonna Powell. Nah, I don't want no credit. Run me my ish. I don't know. I look at it both ways. Sometimes I'm okay with having money kind of stored up on a credit somewhere. Like, well, no, that's not smart now that I think about it, because you're not gaining on interest. Nah, give me my money back. Give me my money. I'll put it somewhere and gain some interest on it until it's time to pay y'all again. All right. So now we're going to move on to our next story. We have, hold on, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm adjusting and trying some new stuff. So I'm trying to, there we go. And I finally figured out how I can do this a little better. I just haven't had time to tweak it. But we have 50 Cent and his son. Hold on, let me pull the article. Marquise Jackson. And I'm going to read this article to y'all. Let me pull it up. They look like twins, though, don't they, y'all? Twinsies. Look, his son looks like a younger version of him, just straight up twinsies. And those always be the ones that be having issues with each other. The more alike they are, the more they have issues with each other. Me and my father. Rest his soul. Okay, so let me pull up the article. We're going to share this screen. Bear with me. Amateur at work. Here we go. All right. So we have 50 Cent. 50 Cent's son, Marquise, responds to his request to meet. So this is the part I wasn't up on, and y'all help me out in the chat with like more of the, I know their history, that they've had some, a turbulent relationship, but like the most recent thing that caused 50 Cent to want to reach out to him in the first place, I didn't have time to dig to figure out how we got even to that point. However, now what we're discussing is his son, Marquise, responding to his father's request, 50 Cent's request to meet. And his response was, "You've had me blocked on social media," the 25-year-old said in an Instagram post. So it goes on to say that Marquise Jackson's 50 Cent's oldest son has responded to his media mogul's father's request to meet and says he was blocked on social media. Heading to his Instagram on Thursday, October the 20th, the 25-year-old shared several photos of himself and his father, including video evidence that he had been blocked by Fifth's account. He's quoted as saying, "I have no number for you, and you've had me blocked on social media for years, so I can't DM you personally, and everybody is mutually scared to touch the topic because they're scared of you," he shared. He added, "I don't want nor need money from you. I don't like attention. I don't like attention. I had so many opportunities to get that, and I chose not to. I saw the Breakfast Club interview, and it didn't sound much like accountability. They're just ego. Blaming and more so about money, as if you were the child in the situation. Those text messages was me. I was waiting outside for you. That was the day you broke my heart. Oh, y'all, I didn't read this. I'm getting sentimental. I forgave you for it. I'm waiting. I'm ready when you're ready to sit down and talk. Oh, says it comes on the heels of his father's appearance on the Breakfast Club, where 50 Cent, 47-year-old, shared that he doubted his son wanted to mend their relationship. Oh, y'all. Charlemagne said, "You would call me. You don't call TMZ to say I want to sit down." He told the radio host. Think about it, man. You don't want, he wants some attention, and it's okay. He can have as much of that as he wants. So I don't know what y'all think about that. So my thoughts. Let me know, y'all, while I'm talking, while I'm ranting. My thoughts is I hope that they eventually get to the place of being able to mend their relationship. It's sad. We know that 50 though, like I ain't giving him 100% pass on this. Like I am leaning more towards his son. Is probably a spoiled brat based on some of the other stuff I'm gonna share. But 50, we see him get into it with people. We see him drag people. We see him not be the kindest person. So I can imagine, because people get real comfortable with their own relatives, especially their kids and stuff. So usually people act a little bit better in public than they do, behind the scenes. So I can imagine he's done some hurtful things to his son. But one of the things that I saw that even caused me to even know this was going on, I saw a YouTube channel in the past, like a video in passing, and they were basically analyzing, I think, a IG live that Marquise had done, and he was complaining that his father wasn't really there for him financially in the way that you would expect a multimillionaire to be, like, because 50 probably got a few $100,000 or something. I mean, a few $100 million. And so he was saying that 50, he only got $6,000, $6,500 per month, or his mom only got $6,500 per month for child support. And he didn't have, the things, like they live in a wealthy community with attorneys and stuff. And he didn't even have basically what the other kids whose parents were attorneys had, and all of those sort of things. Yes, 50 is petty. We know. Yes, absolutely. I agree. But what was interesting to me was when 50 clapped back with it, he kind of gave more insight, and he said that, for one, he bought the house. So it wasn't like that 6,500 was to take care of bills, the household bills and all of that stuff. That was pretty much, for the most part, spending money. $6,500 per month spending money for them. However you want to look at it, like maybe the baby mama and him together should have got more just because of 50's wealth, etc. That's up for debate. However, it wasn't as dire of a situation as his son was presenting in that interview or whatever. The other piece was with him talking about, basically not having, enough shoes and all this other stuff. 50 tells the story of how his son had his mom call 50 and basically say, so one of the kids was trying to stunt on him at school, saying he has 50 pairs of gym shoes, and Marquise had maybe 10, like designer name brand, not just period, like expensive shoes. And so he wanted 50 to basically come off some money and buy him some gym shoes. So 50 said he ended up being like somewhere at some guy was selling. He was shopping somewhere, and this guy was basically, a shoe store was going out of business rather. And so 50 goes in there thinking he about to, get some deals, and he knows his son loves sneakers and blah, blah, blah. And he felt like, oh, I could probably get him a couple pair of shoes or whatever. He says he goes in there, he talks to the man, like, why are you selling your business, etc. They get talking business. The guy says basically the location is bad, and he didn't have enough foot traffic, etc. 50 then decides to offer the man to buy all the shoes in the store, because in his mind, he said, you know what, I'm going to do one better for my son, because I want to teach my son how to be a mogul, all of that too. Like, I want to build generational wealth and help my son. So 50 got the idea. Now, this is his story, so this is alleged. Marquise might totally disagree with this, but he said he ended up buying all the shoes, bought all of the guy's inventory at the shoe store, called his son, who was in Atlanta. I think 50 was in New York. Son was living in Atlanta with his mom. Called him, told him, hey, I'm gonna help you start a business and you can sell these shoes online. I'm gonna get you a warehouse, etc. And you sell these shoes online, and then you can make as much money as you want to then buy whatever you want to buy, basically. So he says his son is like all gung-ho on the phone, like, yeah, dad, da da da. 50 say he does it, have the shoes shipped there, all of that. Says he ain't heard nothing else about the business, and that was years ago. And so I got it in a way. Like, okay, 50 has a little bit of the old school mentality, and this is the way I am too when it comes to kids and stuff, where I'm gonna teach you how to fish. I'm not gonna just keep giving you fish sandwiches. I'm gonna teach you how to fish so you can make an unlimited amount of fish sandwiches and sell them to people so you can build wealth even beyond that. And eat even beyond that. And you can eat some steak and lobsters and all that other stuff. So I got that part of it. But that basically, in short, so the video I did see without doing a ton of research on this was that Marquise seems like a little bit of a spoiled brat, and in relation to those two stories. I'm not saying the whole dynamics of their family, because I'm sure 50 is not perfect in this. And I don't know nothing about nothing, but I'm sure that he's not perfect in this situation. Old Soul is saying, I wish they would deal with this privately. Dealing with this hurt publicly is only causing more trauma. This is sad. Yes, I 100% agree with that. But we do know, and again, this is probably he's cut from the same cloth as his father 50, and we know that 50 takes everything to social media. And he's had a lot of issues on social media, and so his son is modeling what he knows. But yeah, it was an interesting story. Here we go. I don't know. It seemed like the start comments were delayed. Okay, here we go. I was like, y'all ain't saying nothing about it. All right, what we got? What's up, G? Fifth is my boy, and I don't blame him to stay away from his son of a snake and the baby mama. Well, okay. I would be interested, what's up, G, with what you mean by the son being a snake, because in the article and now I don't follow them that closely, so I'm genuinely asking for information if there's pieces I don't know, and there are many pieces I don't know. But what you mean by his son being a snake? Now I know his son has been in social media before and has said some things about his father, but it's what he's saying in his article is that he's had Marquise is saying in the article is that, or was quoted as saying, is that he has had opportunities where basically people would pay him for dirt on 50, and he hasn't given into any of that. And so I'm wondering why you would call him a snake, because to me it seems like there's still, based on what he's saying, seems like there's still some level of loyalty, like that's my dad, I'm not going there. So if you can clarify with let me know. Okay, and so we got Alice Smith saying it's the mother responsible for this. Yeah, I agreed, especially because she was actually the other thing that was shared, and I think 50, I didn't hear him say it myself, but I heard someone quoting saying that 50 later shared also that actually he was paying way more in child support, maybe like 15,000 a month or something like that, and or 20,000. It was something like that, a larger amount. And the mom tried to get more money, and I think when she tried to get more money, he was making less money. So they're going to base it on what he got coming in, basically. And 50, I think, was making less money in that particular time period, and so she ended up getting a reduction. And so, yeah. And now y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I heard. It's speculation, because that's what I heard in these internet streets. But if that's the case, it's like this making y'all look worse. It's making y'all look worse. Yes, 50 is trolling. 50 is always trolling. Always trolling. That's what I'm saying. I know he ain't perfect in this situation, because I'm sure he trolls his son in real life behind the scenes as well. Well, and then the fact that like your son is blocked on social media, he doesn't even have your phone number. God forbid. Like, life is not promised to any of us. Any of us can go at any moment, no matter our age or anything, tragedies, car accidents, etc. I would have a hard time with the rest of my life knowing that I cut my son off off some pettiness, because overall, it's pettiness. And then if he would be gone, and it's like I wasted those years, or those years in a case of having my son blocked out of my life, and now I don't have an option to mend it. So, and I don't know, it sounds like I don't know, it seems like they both want to meet. Maybe they're just so much alike. It could be that. And hopefully they, come together. Miss Vicky says, how is his son receiving support and he's full grown adult and the son requested more money? No, that's past tense. So if I didn't make that clear, what I just mentioned was all past tense of when he was a teenager. So he is cut off. 50 ain't giving him nothing. And obviously, like I just stated, don't even communicate with him. So that's all past tense when he was a teen and stuff, when he was underage. Power dynamics sound like Herschel Walker and his son. I'm not familiar with their situation. Seems like I seen he was in the news recently. Isn't he like trying to be a police officer or something that I heard? But yeah, I'm not familiar with their story. What's up, G? The boy is so wrong. It's sad how he did his father. The baby mama was greedy. The court set the child support at $6,700 a month, and 50 paid it in full, a full 1.47 million in account for auto pay monthly. Wait, what? I think you're saying he set the 6,700 up for auto pay and it added up to 1.4 million? Because I know he wouldn't have. I don't know if it's my reading or what, but I know you're not saying he paid her 1.4 million in the account for auto pay monthly. So I think they added up to that. Vel, it's so much for real, for real. Oh, okay. I mean, I know that because every once in a while this stuff bubbles up between the two of them, and I'll catch tidbits. Like I said, I don't follow 50 like that. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Maybe I'll dig a little deeper on this. Miss Vicky, 50 on deadbeat status. Well, but is he? Because it sounds like from what he's saying. Well, unless you're talking about his youngest son, because he got another son too. I don't know if he got even more than that. But I saw a picture as I was researching. He got another younger son. Do any of y'all know like that dynamics of that relationship, or with the baby mama or that son? Because if he has, well, that son is a lot younger, so usually it takes time for, like, once the kids hit adolescence, teenagers, when you'll start to see the true dynamics come out. So it'd be interesting to see if we see this play out once again with the other son, then we know the common denominator. I wonder, are they close? I'm sorry, yes, hi, I gotta turn this fan on behind me. I wonder if Marquise and the other child are close or involved with each other. Lisa Hunt says 50 stay on social media dragging and trolling people. Absolutely. I see at least like once every other month or so, I hear just randomly somebody mentioning something 50 said about somebody or did on social media. The son is spoiled and ungrateful. I gathered from some of what I heard that part, this here. I just don't know all of the deets. I just know those two stories I told y'all. Says, was it the house that he allegedly burned? See, y'all, this is why I love this here, us getting together like this, because y'all be telling me stuff I have zero idea about. I have never heard that. But now y'all making me interested. Like, ooh, we might have to cover this later and go real in depth. Because I'm a nerd, and when what I've learned is, as I'm learning about this stuff, many of y'all are interested as well. So it gives me a reason to do it too. I don't think his son is ungrateful. When you get them accustomed to a certain lifestyle, they fail to appreciate what they have and think when they want they should get. Yeah, it's funny you even say that. Shay Girl. I don't know how to pronounce all that. But it's funny you say that, because I actually said the same thing when I was talking to a friend about this situation, this story. And I literally was saying the same thing, because they were like, he's ungrateful and he should do this and this and that. And I said, but if you look at it like this is the only life he knows. So we can say this as people who have, gone through levels in life, that we can see like him even feeling like the 60 whatever, I see y'all telling the amounts or whatever, $6,700 or $6,500 a month, that he was acting like they were homeless, like living in a cardboard box, and like, how can anybody survive off this? And I'm like, this is some people don't even make that much, and they live like they live their entire life not even making half of that, or making half of that. So yeah, to me, that automatically points to the fact that, you know, he's not connected to the real life, and he doesn't even know. He don't know no better. He don't know no better. Not completely saying, you know, that it's not his fault in any way, but that it's just the reality of it all. 50 paid in full, the property taxes, etc., all the utilities, etc. She received the 6,700, only had to buy groceries, but she bring a ninja to live while he pay. Ah, I see. Thank you for clarifying that. What's up, G? So that's what I figured. Even when I heard that he paid for the house, I'm like, I'm sure he paid all of the maintenance, all the stuff that had to be done to, you know, keep the house together. And then this basically 6,700 was spending money, which is still, now it's even better. This proves you're rich. Very proves you're wealthy. So it puts her in a wealthy category, at least, to have $6,700 free and clear every month, and not have those additional bills that have to come out of that. His son lying posing with the man that almost took 50. What? Wow. I've really missed a lot. Wow. Yeah, he doing the fool then. Okay, Janae Vincent. As Black folks, it's important to teach our children how to achieve and how to maintain financial wealth. However, social media is not the place to iron our differences. Absolutely, social media is not the place to do that. I hate that it has become more of the norm for people to use social media for those purposes. Even regular folks. I mean, some of us, I can tell y'all, and I'm sure there's one or two of y'all who could who've experienced this as well, who have family members who go on social media and hash out their differences on social media in front of everybody. And it's stuff that you might know behind the scenes. You're like, why did they just take that on to Facebook? Like, what are y'all doing? So yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And then it makes everything worse because everybody's misunderstanding, or you got the extra eyes and people in the business that's stirring it up, because some people love the drama. A lot of people, unfortunately, love the drama in real life. Like, they want to create it, not just watch it on a reality show like me. I just want to see it on TV. That's it. Not in real life. Lisa Diane Hunt, she hurt herself by going back to court and asking for more money. Yeah, but that's also what she deserved. Like, that's exactly what happened to her is what she deserved. Also, yeah, another plug for our VIP Facebook community. Make sure to join over there. It's going down. It's a party over there every day, and inspirational, purpose-driven community with shenanigans. Love it. Ooh, I love it. All right, so our next story, this one is I was gonna say a little sad. It's not a little sad, it's very sad. This is a story about a tenant and her landlord. This woman here is accused of the M word after allegedly taking, I was gonna say, I'm trying to think of the right words, y'all. We on YouTube. I can't just speak freely. Taking her landlord apart into pieces. And the landlord was about to evict her. So I'm gonna play this video. Hopefully it's smooth. If not, I'll stop this video clip and then we'll we'll work our way through it. But let's see. Work with us. Work with us. It's already pausing, y'all. Ah, there you go. The sound ain't there. You gotta love this technology, y'all. Hold on. Okay, now we're gonna share the screen and I'm gonna see if I can get it to work that way. Because I did want y'all to get a quick little hit a newscast. Let's do it this way. Now, I don't know if y'all are here it though. Okay, we got all these commercials. Where's the actual clip I watched? Okay, here we go. Skip ad. Bear with me. Bear with me. Amateur work. Oh, y'all, it ain't gonna work for us. All right, once again. Well, I guess I don't know. This might be a good thing. This is another thing I'll have to put on our VIP Facebook group. I'll add the clip in there because for whatever reason it's not working, and I can tell my computer's freezing everything. Look at all this foolishness, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna read the article. So, well, I can just tell y'all what happened. So, this lady here was a boarding house tenant of this lady here. What's her name? Her name is Sandra Kulelu, and this lady here, the landlord, was Francis Walker. So this lady rents a room within this lady's boarding house on the north side of Chicago. They didn't get into, what happened. This might be a court case I might go to, y'all, if y'all want me to. Put it in the chat if y'all want me to actually go there. But anyway, whatever happened, the situation got to the point that Francis was going to evict the tenant. And the tenant ends up in the landlord's house in her bedroom. They didn't give details yet on how that occurred. And they said the other tenants, heard screaming coming from the landlord's room. They then called her and they didn't get her, but they then texted her saying, "Are you okay?" And she responded, or I should say, they got a response that she was fine. That text message response was actually from, what's her name again? Sandra Kululu. And then they ended up, a tow truck was requested. And the tow truck driver comes. The other tenants are like all scared of her. They're like, she's a dangerous woman. At this point, they didn't know that a murder had occurred, but they felt like something was very, very wrong. And so they were so nervous for the tow truck driver who was coming to pick her up to take her to her car, which was like at the beach, or the lakefront, what we call it in Chicago, that they were like, "Give us your phone number because we want to make sure you get to your destination safely." And so he takes her to her car, he drops her off or whatever, and then he calls the tenants, the people who were nervous, and says, "I took her to her car. She ended up dumping a garbage bag in the garbage can." And so then they make their way to where she had dropped this off at the beach, basically, the lakefront. They look in the garbage can and the garbage bag, and there were bloody rags. And so then, the police get called, etc. Police come and they realize that that the landlord has been dismembered and that the landlord was in a freezer. And of course, she wasn't together. But yeah, so it's a really interesting story. What I found to be interesting, though, is that, why are you crying now? Why are you looking sad and remorse? What the hell? Where was this level of emotion when you was doing what you did to Francis Walker? And so the clip that I wanted to play y'all, that'll be in our VIP Facebook private group. In that clip, there were the neighbors and stuff talking about how nice of a lady she is. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Chicago and this particular area, it's a very diverse area. It's almost like, it always gives me kind of New York vibes because it's very diverse. I mean, you got everything from, Africans, Indians, Caucasians, Asians, like everybody's it's a melting pot. African American, just everybody's mixed in together and living fairly okay together, except for situations like this. And so they were just saying how on the news, just saying how great of a lady she was. She actually was a pianist. She's a musician, She was always at the church. She volunteered. I forgot exactly. I think they said she did something with dance, but she was always at church. She did the music for people's weddings, for people's funerals, and just all of that. So from all accounts, and the people were just like, this, for something to happen to someone like this, like is a horrible thing. So yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. It's very sad. Let's see. I'm gonna look at a couple comments and then we'll move on to our next one. And I see some comments with people saying I should go. It's in my hometown, so that one will be a fairly easy one to attend. Tiana Yvonne, oh Lord, I had no clue what the landlord looked like. Yeah, it's unfortunate. And what I was telling a friend when I saw, I said, she looks like hold on, tell you all these buttons and screens around here. Not her, not you. You. She I said she looks like a school teacher. She just looks like a school teacher I had. Just like when you look at her, you're like, she don't look too harmful. But I'm interested in like the full dynamics, and that's why I'm nosy neighbor, interested in going to this court case and seeing like what I can tell y'all about what we don't know to put all this together. I'm sure the lady's crazy, but I would like to know the details. Beauty Dior. This reminds me of that repo show. People didn't pay their car payments, and the repo guy came to get the car, and they would try to harm them. Like, what? Pay your bill or let it go. Yeah. Well, and so it seems like things went smooth with the tow truck guy. Oh, piece I missed. Again, they said this in the news clip too. Another red flag was that she used the lady's Francis credit card to pay for the tow truck driver, to pay for the tow truck. Craziness. So she going down. This is another Tim Norman. Like, the story's already written. We know what's happening here. Tisha not only taking her life, but had the nerve to cut up. Yep. I agree. Horrible. Yeah, not the freezer. And instantly, because I'm still trying to get through it. I haven't watched it in like, I didn't try to watch it last week at all, but Dahmer on Netflix. So for those of you who aren't familiar, well, I'm sure most people are, but Jeffrey Dahmer, who was the Milwaukee serial emmer, they have that Netflix series on him now and a documentary. So I had started watching that, but immediately when I heard that she had placed her in the freezer, I immediately thought about him and the fact that that's what he was doing with those people he was taking apart. Lisa Diane Hunt, she is upset because she got caught. Yeah, I guess so. That's the remorse ain't. It's like what I said with Travell in court, and seeming all solemn or whatever. It wasn't about what he did. It was about him. Like, oh Lord, my life, not the life you just took. All right, three more. Crafting with Susie. This is so sad and it's horrible. Yeah, it really, really is. Really is. Pressa G, this is horrible. Now she has permanent living spot in jail. Exactly. That's sad. Poor lady. Yeah. So let's keep her family, like, they haven't gotten into detail. Again, this is why the nosy neighbor want to go to this case because, like, I don't know, like, do she have kids? Like, does she have a family? Those sort of things. Like, who else? But thoughts and prayers out to anyone connected to her, even the tenants who had to, they're in that place and experienced that, the trauma with that, the neighbors who, have lost her, friends, church people. So prayers for everyone involved in this. Okay, so our next story, I jumped around a little bit. Okay, so the next story is, here we go. Jason and Armon Wiggins, or I should say Armon Wiggins and Jason Lee. So this is the YouTube stuff that some people ain't interested in, but I am, so we're gonna talk about it. And some of y'all are too. If you're interested as well, say put it, let's talk about it, or talk about it in the chat. Okay, I don't even know where to begin with this. I do have some notes to try to keep my place, because this is so much to it. So I was watching Armon Wiggins YouTuber Armon Wiggins, who is, for those of you who don't know, he's the one to your left, far left, brown skin guy. And he's been on YouTube for years. And he is a YouTube blogger. He's actually now a music artist. He has a song out, two songs out, I think now. He has about 157,000 subs on YouTube. He's an OG when it comes to YouTube, because I was watching Armon like 10 years ago, but he just started taking it more seriously, like a career, in the past few years. And so yeah, he was one of my faves even back in the day. So the thing about Armon, though, is that he has definitely had controversy. He has not been out here without controversy. He's gotten into it with other YouTubers, like the Wiley Show. I meant to bring these people's pictures up and I forgot. Wiley, we had Michelle ATLM Brown. She still has an issue with him. Him and Wiley is touch and go. Storm Monroe, who I actually talked about a few weeks ago, and him and Storm have now made up. And Storm did admit that basically he created the drama with Armon through Armon's other arch nemesis, Tasha K. Again, I ain't pull up nobody's pictures now. I'm noticing, but anyway, y'all know who Tasha K is. So what I noticed in this story is it's very similar to Armon's situation that he had with Tasha K years ago that led them to not be together, see eye to eye. Yeah, he's not new to drama. Exactly. Not at all. Not at all. I, however, don't feel like he's always the cause. I do feel that I know for a fact he's not always the cause. Some of this is people coming at him. It's that he is reactive. He's reactive. And this is a situation of, I feel like it was cause for in this situation, to be honest, but he's reactive. And to be honest, I think he's also a gentle soul in a way, and like sensitive. And I think this stuff really hurts him, and he takes it to heart. Like it hits him in a different way than it might some of us who'd be like, oh, well, like, let's keep it moving. Like, I came in this world by myself. I'm going to leave by myself, kind of thing. But anyway, okay, so I have here a little background on Jason Lee. So Jason Lee, who's here, the guy in the background, he's a blogger. He was on Love and Hip Hop. He was a reality cast member there. And basically he's turned into somewhat of a media mogul, a rising media mogul. Like, he's connected. He's pretty connected. He started Hollywood Unlocked, that, they have an Instagram. He does some YouTube with it. I don't know if it's consistent, because it seems like I'll see it and then I won't. But basically he's a blogger. Now, though, he is connected with a lot of Hollywood elite. Like, he's was friends with Kanye, worked for Kanye with his media team. I don't think he was his publicist, but something with his media. Cardi B, like, you name it. Like Wendy Williams, he's been, hanging with her and until he started trying to he ain't no real friend. But anyway, when he put out, she was having obviously a moment where she wasn't lucid and claiming that she was married, and he was the person to put that out. And I already had my issues with Jason Lee or suspicions, but when he did that, to me, it was just like confirmation, like, you ain't no real friend. We all know Wendy got issues right now. We all know that. And chances of her had been getting married and all of that were slim to none, and she probably was just talking all off top of her head or side of her neck. And you ran to the public with that, and that's not being a real friend. When your friend is down and struggling, and you taking conversations that aren't lucid and putting it out in public as though it's fact. So anyway, and then there's also, he's had a lot of controversy with former co-host with him with Hollywood Unlocked, employees, interns, people saying he don't pay, manipulate, all this other stuff. And so no one basically can deny, though, that he's really good at moving in these celebrity circles. So as it pertains to the two of them and how we got here is Armon. Now, with everything I just said about Jason Lee and what he's accomplished and what he's been able to do, Jason Lee was an Armon to a degree. To a degree, he was an Armon, and he kind of raised up the ranks, and now he's a legitimate social climber. I was gonna say celebrity. He's not. I mean, kind of celebrity, I guess. So Armon has been looking up to him because he's like, this is what I want for my career. This is where I'm trying to go. And so they eventually start to connect through social media, et cetera, and they become friends. I use that loosely. And basically it was Armon looking for mentorship. Now, Armon has done this before, many times before. I ain't gonna say many times, but he's attempted to do this before, and it tends to bite him in the ass. And the last notable time was Tasha K, where in the beginning, when he was really starting to take this more serious, he was trying to link up with Tasha K to get assistance with, everything from, the video, how to make your quality better, and, how to present and everything else. So, I mean, he's talented, so he only needs so much. He has the raw talent. And so he was trying to work with her, and it bit it in the tail. And I won't get too deep into that because we can talk about that later at some other point if y'all want to. If y'all want to really just go through this whole timeline, because I could just go through Tasha K's storyline and it'll tell a lot of other YouTubers' storyline. I'm with you, Brenda. I felt the same way. I cringed when I saw how close they were getting. I really cringed because I knew something was going to happen eventually. Strong personalities, and on top of that, Jason Lee. So Armon was basically looking for mentorship rather, with Jason Lee until the fallout, until Jason Lee's glaring issues started to come out. As Armon stated, his childhood issues, acting them out on other people who ain't got nothing to do with it. And so Armon starts to share how Jason Lee really moves behind the scenes. And what he eventually realized was that Jason Lee is fake about this whole Black media empowerment movement that he's touting, that he really doesn't care about supporting other media people, and that it's an act. Because if he says he's promoting other Black media, and then he can go to these larger companies and say, hey, y'all get behind me because I got all them right here that I'm pulling with me, they're going to then give him the lion's share, and he's supposed to trickle down, but it doesn't trickle down. And so one of the examples of that was Armon was talking about how Funky Dineva, T.S. Madison, him and Jason Lee has started going over to, I agree with that too. Jason Lee and Tasha are two sides of the same coin. Absolutely. But he was talking about how they went on Clubhouse. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Clubhouse is an app where it's almost like a podcast app, but you get to communicate with each other, and you get to have rooms and different topics, and people can join and listen in. And if they open it up, people can actually speak and comment in real time and all of those sort of things. So they were on there together, and their show was doing very good, not surprisingly. But but they then find out that Jason Lee really pulled them into that because he overall wanted them to go over to Bigo. I think it's Bigo. Is it Bingo or Bigo? Bigo, maybe. That's another app. It's a lot of apps for y'all that don't know. It's a lot of them. And so, and there's social media apps, like platforms. So Bigo is where you go over, and it's similar to Clubhouse, but it's visual, it's video. I don't know. It's hard to describe it. But people get to interact with each other, but they gain points and stars, and it's all kind of craziness happening on the screen, like animations. Yeah, Bigo. It's a lot. It's too much for my Gen X mind. And I don't get it. And then it's very toxic. So I tell y'all, I don't mind watching drama. It's like entertainment for me, unfortunately, for better or worse. But I don't like toxicity. And that's toxicity. Like, I have never seen anything over there that wasn't like made me cringe. Like, ooh, that's just it's too dark, too dark. So anyway, Jason Lee was trying to get them to come over to T.S. Madison and Funkin' Dineva and Armon Wiggins. He was trying to get them off of Clubhouse to come over to there because he had a deal with Bigo, and he wanted them to come over there so he could, almost like a pyramid scheme. I get you over here, I make money off the fact that all three of y'all have joined. They weren't going for it. They like, we good over here. We got our own stuff going on. And our mom was like, I'm good on YouTube. And he was saying he didn't like, that toxicity over there. So anyway, they basically declined. And our Jason's response was to immediately have his team send the three of them a text message saying, basically, Jason has decided to end the I got too much Clubhouse. I'm like, yeah, look at my note. I got too many thoughts in my head. Clubhouse broadcast effective immediately. Like, it's just over. He has too much on his plate, and he's basically decided that he's realized he doesn't have time for that. So because they didn't do what he was really trying to manipulate them to do, he immediately canceled that, the Clubhouse thing. And now Armon continues this relationship with Jason Lee, so much so that he actually ends up hosting Jason Lee's gagging show a couple times. And I actually watched it, and it was good. I watch Armon by himself on his own stuff, but it was like, oh, I like this better with Armon than I do with Jason Lee, like on his show. He was really good, and his numbers, from what Armon was saying, I haven't verified, but from what Armon was saying in his own show talking about all this, was that his views were the highest on Jason Lee's gagging show than everything he's done, except for, I think he said one show he did. So it was going well. So then Jason Lee sees an opportunity to say, well, let me try to pull Armon in. Now, mind you, Armon is saying he realized that Jason Lee never liked him. None of this happening was because Jason Lee liked him. It was happening because Jason Lee saw him as an opportunity to benefit from him, but also a way to hold down or suppress and control what could potentially be your competition, who you may see have a lot of potential. And there are people who do this. Some of y'all don't know what happens. I've had people try to do it to me like 3 different times since I've been on YouTube. It's real. Where they'll see something in you that you don't see in yourself, and then they try to take it and they want to control it so they can then benefit from it. And then you become their worker. Like, it's your stuff, your talent, your gift, your everything. But then they take it and then they get the puppet string and benefit from it. It's like, no, we don't do that. So I totally quickly understood what Armon was saying about Jason Lee. Yeah, thank you, Crafting with Susie. Jason Lee saw Armon as a threat, and so that's why he built this relationship. Now, allegedly, because I don't know them in real life. So Jason Lee has him on his show. He then offers Armon, has his team offer Armon a show. Like, hey, we want to see if you'll come over and be on the show. And Armon is like, are you talking about an appearance, or are you talking about something recurring? And the producer or whatever who had emailed, text him, said, I think Jason has something permanent in mind with this. And Armon was like, well, basically, I got other commitments, and he wasn't looking to commit on that level. And then on top of that, Armon was saying, wasn't no money discussed. And then it's kind of like, when you look at it, to me, it was kind of insulting, considering that Armon has a pretty decent sized platform that's definitely growing and doesn't need to work for somebody. Like, not like, especially like that on you. You gonna have me come from my own YouTube channel where I do make enough money to live and survive, and I'm growing, to come to work for you on your YouTube channel and grow it? No, that's not what we do. We're entrepreneurs over here. So he declined, and gracefully he read what he said. Y'all watch this video. I'll try to remember to link it in under here for those of you who haven't seen it. But Armon declined. Do I have it here? You can't. Can you remove that comment? I think it's yeah, Alice. Can you remove that comment so they can see? So yeah, that's the title of the video. Gagging at Jason Lee. Armon Wiggins responds to Jason Lee. This full breakdown on what happened. So this is the video that I'm referring to, and so check it out if you haven't. It's entertaining for sure. So okay. So then once Armon says that he's no thank you in a very gracious way, he read the response he had, and the next thing you know, Jason Lee blocks him on everything, and then had his staff block Armon as well. And it's like, what? Like, if you here to support Black media, you here to, reach down and pull the next man up. Why are you blocking me? Because I have other things that I envision for my life and my plan. Why do I have to only operate within your plan for me or things that benefit you directly? Which I'm on, he mentioned that. So that's shady as F. Shady as F. So the other thing was, so even with that, for some reason, Jason Lee eventually starts to reach back out to Armon. And Armon gets invited to something with Kanye West's Sunday, what do they call it? Sunday church or whatever he has. So Armon gets invited to that. Of course, he takes he's still like, she don't like me, but I'm gonna go because this is an opportunity. So he goes there. He says it was, great time, all that good stuff. He's, this VIP treatment. He's backstage, all that. He gets to be standing next to Kanye and all of this. And so he says he wanted to take a picture with Kanye West. He wanted to take a picture with Kanye West, partially for himself, of course, but also because his brother really loves Kanye West. And so he asked, basically, will we have the opportunity to take it, take photos with Kanye West? He was told by a couple people no, and Jason Lee was like, no, we don't do that. You do not ask to take a picture with him. Don't take no picture with him. Basically, like, you're gonna ruin yourself if you take a picture, asked to take a picture. And so Armon, being an independent thinker, did it anyway and took the photo, took it outside with Kanye. Kanye was gracious enough to take it. Kanye was getting ready to leave or something. Was like, come on, man, come out here. Had somebody take, like, no, you take this picture for us, kind of thing. Like, he was really into it, obviously. So they take the picture, and the picture hits the blogs, basically the news, and becomes an article. So it becomes an article about Kanye West and his Sunday service, whatever. But then it's like, and he took a picture with blogger Armon Wiggins. Armon gets his name in the papers with a picture next to Kanye West. Now, somebody who supports you, a mentor, person who's into you advancing and isn't threatened by you, is going to say, good job, man. I was a little wrong with that. Okay, you did that. That's good. Look, I'm so happy for you. Instead, he gets nothing from Jason Lee. And what he then sees later is that the article had been rewritten a couple days later. Article had been rewritten. Armon's picture was taken out of it, and it mentioned Kanye's stuff, but then mentioned Jason Lee. And then when he showed, like, on the screen, I was driving, y'all, so it was like I could catch. I should be telling y'all this. Anyway, I was on my road. I can't remember. I think I was heading to St. Louis. But anyway, so I wasn't able to stare. But the glance I saw was as he was scrolling. It was all these pictures of the event, but Jason Lee was in each one of them. It's just shadiness. Oh my God, shadiness. And so he, in the background, Haterville, exactly, Haterville. So in the background, Armon is seeing all this and knowing stuff we don't know. We just seeing articles. We don't know that, oh, this shady-ish. Like, she done went and because Jason Lee, remember, I had started with, Jason Lee is an up-and-coming media mogul. Might suppress my shine now. I might not get no articles. No. But he's so he has connections to be able to say, hey, y'all, I'm gonna need y'all to retract this this article, or we got to fix this. I don't want his name out there like that, that kind of stuff. And they do. People are connected behind the scenes. I have some connections like this little already, and things work. They operate in a different kind of way behind the scenes. And so he could have that done. Some people might be like, he can't do it. Yeah, he can easily. If those people, the heads, the editors, and all that stuff are his friends, easy. Text message. Don't even have to be a phone call. Yo, take that down. It's gone. It's funny you saying that. Jason Lee is going to end up like Perez. Perez Hilton. So it was funny. I hadn't thought about. I wish I could pull up stuff quicker on here like that. But anyway, Perez Hilton, for those of you who aren't aware, was like one of the first big bloggers, like before this genre even. Like he's definitely one of the first few. But anyway, he was really big, and his light has dimmed, and I wasn't sure because I kind of forgot about him. I was like, what exactly happened? Like, where is he? Like, because this industry has taken off, and one of the people in the very beginning is you don't even hear about him. So I guess, yeah, this is what you're saying. Jason Lee is going to end up like Perez, because Perez, he's rich and stuff, and he did make a name for himself, but nobody know it yet. Well, I don't. So anyway, yeah, so he had that article written. Now, what I loved about this was Armon he was on it. He did an amazing job with this. Like, if you go drag, you got to drag, and he did it. This was epic. This was definitely him dropping the mic. So he ends up doing a demonstration towards the beginning where he talked about how Jason Lee acts like he's for the people, just like I told y'all. Like, no, I'm the catalyst. I'm helping. I'm bringing all these people with me, and so behind him, unlike me, with just a fan behind me, he had this monkey. And so the demonstration and what he's pointing at here is how Jason Lee will act like he has all of these black media people, up and comers like Armon and many, many others, who he's like, I'm helping all them too, y'all. Like, give me what I need, and I'm helping them too. He said, what you don't see until you do this is that the people behind him are muzzled, basically. He silenced them. He takes their power. And it's basically like they become zombies who only operate the way he needs or wants them to operate. It ain't for them to come and stand on the side of him, or God forbid in front of him. It's for them to always remain behind him. And that's not real upliftment. Like, if you really are into uplifting people and you really feel called to help people, you can't be concerned with how far someone takes that, how far God or the universe allows that to go. That's not on you. Like, what you're called to do is for you. What they're called to do is for them. Like, I'm not the kind of person that if I help you, I don't want you to get further than me. That it's meant for you to do that, because if that's what happens, that's meant for you to do that, because I'm still going to be fulfilled and my purpose is still going to be fulfilled, because obviously God has something else for me in mind. It's supposed to look different than yours. None of our stuff's supposed to look the same. No way. We're all individuals. So anyway, but a narcissist, those who are narcissists, don't see it that way. They always got to be on top. They always got to be on top. They always got to control the situation and always got to control the narrative. So I hope they don't throw my phone ringing. I hope they don't throw nothing off. So anyway, that was very, very, very creative. And are we freezing here? Let's see. Yeah, so him doing that to me was very creative and impactful. Like, you really understood what he was saying. And then the other thing he did, and then I'm gonna kind of move on and go to y'all comments, because it's so much. Like, he did a 2-hour live. I'm not gonna do verbatim. But the other thing he did that was, for me, as I was driving, I was like, just throw the whole thing away now. We done. We done. Like, you did that. You did that, Armon. You did that. So he's kind of like, I admired you. I was down for you. He even sitting there on his live wearing Jason Lee's gagging sweatshirt. Like, that's his branded gagging. That's his show or whatever. And which he actually stole from Kiss. If any of y'all really know that logo is Kiss's logo, or it's very similar. The rock group Kiss. But anyway, he says, I looked up to you. I bought your shirt. I even bought your book. But I'm done with you, basically. And so he sets the book on fire, y'all. That's him lighting the book. Like, I am burning you. I am burning this evil spirit, the spirit of narcissism, away. And then, you know, he burned the book. He let the first page kind of go as much as he could, and then he dropped it in a bucket of water on the side of his desk. So what I gathered, though, like, he's hurt. And I even gathered in his dragging, and he said some stuff. He drug him, but it was like true. It was true. Like, it was true. He drug him, but you could see the hurt in it. It's like, man, I looked up to you. And he even said, y'all, I didn't want this to end this way. And I didn't even want, he said, I don't want to be burning a bunch of bridges. Like, he already knows, he just like we talked about in the beginning, he know his history. He know what we know. And he knows how that the optics of that can start to look, especially as you start to rise. You got to watch who you step on the ladder on your way up, because those are the same people you're going to see on your way down. So he's aware of that, but I still heard his heart, even honestly, at the very, very end. He read text messages, long text messages, about even when Jason cut him off, basically. And Armon wrote him this long, drawn out thing of like, man, I admired you and I just don't understand this, and da-da-da. And I tried to, you know, be humble around you and this and that, and you just stepped on me, you know, all these things. And it's like, it's sad. I don't know. But I guess the lesson too in it is you have to be mindful. And this is not just for influencers and, you know, people in the celebrity world or anything. This is for everyday people. Be careful that just because someone appears to be blessing you, appears to be doing things for you, or sometimes we'll get in a situation because we feel like if I get with that person, it'll take me to this next level. Sometimes those people ain't for you, and it actually is going to cause more hurt than harm. So, and follow your gut, because he even admitted, like, he knew the word on the street about Jason Lee. I know the word on the street about Jason Lee, and I ain't got nothing to do with that life. And I know better. So y'all, Rolling Stones. I misquoted that. The logo here is not from Kiss, it's from the Rolling Stones. I knew it was familiar though. But yeah, just be mindful of that. Like they say, all money ain't good money. All relationships that seem to be potentially for your advancement ain't good. For lack of a better word. I ain't got time to hash that out for y'all to make it sound better. When you have crabs in a barrel mentality, you would never want anyone else to win. Yeah, very true. Very, 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 very true. Okay, I'm gonna go to some comments, and then I'm gonna do our last story, which is our Sweetie Pies, and that's for the Sweetie Pies crowd. I was like, I almost didn't do it, and I was like, I've had so many people send me the story, and y'all really into it. I can't let my Sweetie Pies people down. Sweetie Pies built this channel, not just recently, like from the beginning. My first 100,000 view video was when Tim got arrested. That was the first time I hit 100,000 views on a video. So yeah, this is the channel that Sweetie Pies built. And I can't forget it. I can't deny it. As much as I want to sometimes. I'm just joking. Sonia Taylor, Made by God. Love that. Love Armon. Did you see Wiley repost from 2018 basically saying Armon did what Jason did to him? No, I did not. Okay, I'm gonna have to go over, because I do watch Wiley. I'm gonna have to go over there and check that out, because I do know they fell out. But also, this is and I know I'm a YouTuber too, so some of y'all might be looking at me like, why are you acting like you not better but different than them? Because I don't associate, like, I'm not friends with nobody like that. I do have YouTube friends, but in this particular space, in general, I roll along. And there's a reason. And I'm friendly, and I got friends. I got a lot of real friends, but it's different. It's different. You know what? It's the best way I can compare it is, those of you who are in corporate America or who have been in corporate America, and you work somewhere and you love your job, but you got some coworkers and people who just be up to some shenanigans, and you like, you know what? I can't do this. I love this job though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna work my A off, and I'm gonna do this job because I love it. But y'all stay over there. Like, I'll work with y'all when I need to on this project or that. But and I heard Sean Davy Way say the same thing, and he said it because he's been through had his own issues. He's been doxxed. I've been doxxed too, but not by bloggers, by Darius Crooks. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, it's just different, y'all. It's so different. It's so different. And I don't know. Well, we'll talk about this on Patreon. I don't want to get too deep. We'll talk about it on Patreon. All right. So let's see who's next. Didn't mean to click. Here we go. Power Dynamics for Life. You're doing an American job. Vel represents the Aries. There we go. Aries Nation. Thank you so much, Power Dynamics. I don't know. I think my computer's dragging a little bit on these comments. Rhonda says, I understand where Armon is coming from with this Jason situation. Jason seems like a snake. I haven't seen anything that says the opposite. I don't know, but you hear people say, some of the great things. Even Armon said he still doesn't really regret it because he's met some great people through him and all of that. And sometimes, I actually have the same testimony, honestly, and I'll share that on Patreon with somebody many of you guys know. They're a public figure where they did me worse than anybody in my life, but I was blessed to meet some amazing people through them who I still talk to today. And some of them are like the closest people to me. So I was blessed to meet some great people through them. It wasn't God. That relationship was for a season, but God had other plans. Like the other relationships I've built from that through knowing that person have blessed my life for sure. Absolutely. Okay, here we go. Tish W is Armon from Armon and Trey. No, I think Armon has always been solo. I don't know who Armon and Trey is. I don't think so. No, I don't think they're the same people. Sonia, yes, it was called for Jay is rude as heck to him. Oh, Jason is rude as heck to him. Yeah, it was called for him. Listen, those text messages, y'all. Those y'all who watched Armon's live, those text. I'm like Armon was like, dude, I'm a grown man, and you ain't gonna. They said, put your nuts on my face, right? Like, dude, yeah, I'm the same way. Like, whew, if y'all can see that other side, it's probably coming out more and more as we go further. But I can seem, away, and I'm an Aries. I don't know how else to describe. I'm a Ram. So like I'll only allow so much. I really don't allow a lot anymore. But yeah, you can't come for me like that. You can't just treat me any kind of way. That ain't happening. Jason Lee was always messy. Yeah, Jason Lee admitted that in a recent Breakfast Club interview. But he was also saying that he was trying to change his image because of the fact that he's trying to become a media mogul, basically. Those are my words. But he's trying to grow his platform and evolve. And so he's trying to repair those relationships he's messed up through being reckless with his mouth, etc. So, yeah, I'm seeing Rhonda saying here in the live chat, those texts were very condescending, extremely. It's like, why? I just don't get people who talk to people that way. Like I have said, I meet people with the same energy that they meet me with, but I don't just generally just off the cuff, not generally at all. I don't off the cuff just come at people. And no, it was like just called for the tone in those messages. Regina C, which tells you who people really are. Like this, was it Maya Angelou? When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. God knows I've learned that lesson so many times. Regina C, even when he was on Love and Hip Hop, he was always messy. Yeah, I didn't actually watch. I never really watched Love and Hip Hop, but I definitely didn't watch it when he was on there. And he wasn't on Atlanta, was it? Wasn't he on Miami or some other whatever locations they got? So yeah, I never watched that one. Regina, one-sided friendships. Let's just say that many times. Yeah, one-sided friendships. Let's just say that many. Yeah, one-sided friendship. Yep. What's being verified on YouTube? Oh, okay. You have. I'm pretty sure, Louisiana lady, you're probably asking maybe based on what was said on Armon's video where he was talking about how Jason Lee had promised to get him verified, and then he didn't. So verify just means that you get a little check, and it's on all platforms you can get it on now, like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, whatever else I ain't thinking about, Twitter. You get a little check, and it's got a little circle around it, a little star kind of jagged circle. All it means is that you are a legitimate public figure. You are a professional public figure, basically. Like and it's helpful as you start to grow. Eventually, I'll have one. We're claiming that. But eventually, as you start to grow, we need to be able to verify that I am actually talking to Cardi B and not Cardi B's, like somebody who created an account and then got the same photo and everything, and they acting like they Cardi B, but they really ain't. Because there's money and stuff that comes with our platforms. Like we make revenue, we get sponsorships and all these other things. And if you weren't able to really verify this is really that person, then it could allow people to do that. But also scamming people is a big thing now. Well, scamming has always been a big thing, but being used in social media is a big thing, where people use our platforms. Like as you start to grow, I haven't had it happen yet, but I know it will come. And so we'll have rules that I'll let y'all know. Like I'll never be reaching out to you asking for any donations or money and all of that stuff. Well, besides here, super chat me if you want to, and don't forget about this. So if it's not this situation here, looking at your screen below where you can Cash App or Zelle and all of that, that you'll never have to worry about me texting you in our VIP group community saying, hey, my car just broke down and my AAA ain't working and my phone is dead, even though I'm texting you, and my phone is dead. Can you send me $20, friend? Like, and people do that, and they use our platforms to try to pull that off. So that's the reason to get verified. I said a whole lot, and hopefully that clarified it. Yeah, I have, like people in real life who would come pick me up or send me their AAA. So don't worry, I won't be ever coming at y'all like, I'm in Africa, y'all, and I'm stranded. And you never got to worry about me texting y'all that. I'm pretty sure I have enough people in my life who will give me, plus a husband. So I think I'm okay. So if you get anything like that, talking about Val B has requested $10,000 from you, it ain't Val B. Not this one. All right. Karen Adams. He definitely was in Armon. No shade of doubt. Oh, no shadow of doubt. The only difference is Jason bulldozed his way into urban celebrities' actual physical spaces in LA. And that's what, so Armon did say that he was like, yeah, and you just bully these celebrities into basically having relationships with you, because being in that space, he has dirt on them, etc. Or knowing as many media people as he does, he can pull strings and be like, oh, you'll never get in the Elle magazine again if you don't invite me to your party, that kind of stuff. So that stuff catches up with people. I don't know why people roll like that, because it always catches up with them. Vel Bigo has a feature that allows watchers to change the host voice to sound like the Hulk if they don't like what you're saying, want to join. Now I would love to see that. And like I said, I've seen clips. I feel like I had ran into a YouTube channel at some point who was recording people's Bigos, like the more notable people. I froze. I don't know how bad that is. Let me see. Am I on the Ethernet? I got this light glaring. Let me see. That's gonna help. I shouldn't have had that on, no way. I can't see my screen, y'all. Hopefully this freezing ain't too bad on y'all end. But anyway, yeah, that would be interesting. I did run into a YouTube channel that was recording them, kind of like some of these YouTube channels record people's IG lives. And it was interesting, like stuff I had on in the background while I wash the dishes or clean the house or whatever. And then, like I said, it's a little too toxic. No, a lot too toxic for me. So yeah, because I was almost going to join it in the very beginning, but I like to feel things out and figure out what it really is. And I was like, oh yeah, this ain't for me. This ain't me. Karen Adams, capitalism in general is built on the idea of taking others' labor, intellectual property, and talents and convincing them they need you to succeed. True. But there's a more, like record labels do that, right? And yeah, there's stories, of course, of record labels doing horrible things to people. But I'm like, can we do this in a more honest way? Because the truth is, everyone who has talents and abilities aren't entrepreneurs, aren't business people, and don't have a desire to do that. So can we be honest with each other? And you tell me, I can handle your business part. You got the talent, and I'm gonna give you a profit share with this. But I'm gonna do this, and you're gonna do that, and we're gonna partner. Not, I'm finna trick you into thinking you're a nobody, and then manipulate you into doing this for me, and I'm gonna give you 1% of it, or nothing ever. And it sounds like, in a way, Jason Lee was trying to give him nothing. So yeah, that's where I have a problem with it. I agree with you, but it's the deceitfulness part of it that I have a problem with. But the truth is, if they were more honest, they would have less people too. So I get that too. I'm living in a fantasy world in my head. I know. Crafted with Susie, we old Vel, knowing who knowing who Kiss and the Rolling Stones are. Yeah, so true. And MTV videos and all of it. Yeah. And the reason I know is because back in the day, I mean, they was just kind of forced in our face. Not that I loved. I mean, I knew some of their songs back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, but I wasn't loving them. I don't play them today. Letitia, hey, Tish. Armon and Trey are brothers. Armon, oh, is the one dating Regina. And as I read that other comment, I thought about that could be the Armon, because you and I had a conversation about this. Yeah, and I still haven't dug into it. Thanks for the clarity, Tish. Brenda King, I can't get over the clip of Jason chasing Beyonce around, and she was trying to avoid him so bad. So I think Armon, because I heard a piece of this, and I think it was Armon who stated that Jason basically grabbed Beyonce and was like with his camera. I didn't see it. That was my first time here, but I was cracking up at just his description of how he chased Beyonce down and basically forced her aggressively into taking a photo with him. Crazy. But those are people who, clout chase. I don't know. I'm different in a way. I don't know. I am different, but I'm like, so, and I'm saying this because I've had the opportunity to take photos with not even say many, but a few celebrities and like some big ones, and like been in places with them and all of that. And I'm like, I'm good. Like, you're a human. Like, you cool. I watch you, Candy Burris, and I did take one with Michelle Pfeiffer. What's her name? No, it wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer. It was the one who was married to Jesus. I'm so bad with names, y'all. And her it's like on the top of my head, but took a picture with her, and my phone was going dead. I had a colleague at the time, a person I had met at a conference, take a picture of me with her, and that lady never sent me the picture. I'm like, but yeah, so Harrison Ford, I saw him at an airport. It was just me and him sitting in the section waiting on the plane, and I thought about it because I'm like, that's Harrison Ford sitting literally across from me reading. He was reading the newspaper. Like, who's still reading the newspaper? But he was reading the newspaper, and I didn't go over there like, hey, I really love your work. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Part of me don't want to bother people, but the other part is like, you human just like me. Like, and what am I doing it for? Like, social media clout? Like, I don't know. But I'm crazy, y'all. I'm crazy. Okay, so let's get to our last story. Yeah, we'll end at the 2-hour mark. Hold on, y'all. Let me get back adjusted to what I'm doing. What am I doing? So I didn't pull that. Okay, so let's go to our screen share. I don't know if this is gonna work, y'all, because this thing is acting up on me. Let me see. I might just read it for y'all, but let me try it first. Let me try to share it. If it don't work, then amateur at work. Y'all know how to go over here. Here we go. Let's see what it does. I didn't want to share my whole. I don't want y'all seeing all my business though. Let's see. Give me a second. Amateur at work. Yeah, I'm gonna share it. Oh, this is the right one anyway. Okay. Or is it? No, it's not. Okay, hold on, y'all. I got. I'm gonna send y'all a picture of my setup. I wanted to clean my office was junky this weekend, but I'm gonna clean my office and send y'all in the VIP text community a picture of my 90% finished office, so y'all can see why y'all see me looking way over there, and I'm literally still looking at a screen. I got screens all around me. Anyway, so we have Sweetie Pie's auctioning off their assets weeks after the St. Louis restaurant closes its doors. So as we know, those of you who been following this and we follow Sweetie Pie, y'all know what we do over here. Y'all know that the VA hospital has used eminent domain to finally, after like over a decade, really, excuse me, y'all, after a decade, has made it official that they're, taking possession of the land that the Upper Crust location is located on so that they can expand the VA hospital's campus. They're trying to do stuff to improve for the community. And so Ms. Robbie had no choice but to leave. Now, how much money she got and all that, don't know. Don't bother asking me because I don't know. She ain't that cool with me. But anyway, they're saying that, she put the notice up. I did a video about it where she says we're closing to make room for more than $400 million Cochrane Veteran Hospital expansion. We thank each and every one of you for the 25 years of support. So then it says, now many assets from the Sweetie Pie's location are being auctioned off through BCL Auction, an auction house service-based in St. Louis. 2 rounds of auctions run through October 24th and 25th. The items up for auction include kitchen equipment, tables, chairs, and utensils. Bidders can also get their hands on some signature items such as Sweetie Pie's lighted sign and a set of double entry doors. Oh, they're gonna sell the front doors too? Dang. I actually, like I said a little earlier, I did drive by there, so I'll share that video. I might even just share the raw footage from my phone. I'm not gonna edit it and all that. Share the raw footage from my phone in our VIP Facebook community, so you can see literally what the front of the building, and you can see the sign, the auction signs, and all that. You can see them on my footage from last Wednesday. I think I went there. So, but when I went there, it was like uneventful. It wasn't nobody there. Nothing was happening. For some reason, the lights on the sign was still on, and going around. The little bulbs y'all see. Oh, y'all don't see nothing because I took it down. But the little bulbs that go around that Upper Crust sign. But they had auction, the name of the auction company signs on all of the doors, the main door, and then all the way on that banquet hall door. And it was like a yard sign one near the backyard part, their patio area. But other than that, it was uneventful. The only thing that I did notice was when I was driving up on the side of the building now, there's graffiti, like huge graffiti, that I didn't recall seeing the first time. I felt like that would have stuck out to me because it's so glaring. So you'll see that on the video as well. But I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. Like restaurants closing, that's it for the legacy of Sweetie Pies in St. Louis, at least for now. I mean, she was saying, or in that note they posted on the door that I read a couple weeks ago, they were saying basically they're closing for now and alluding to they might, find a new location. I'm just not sure if that will really happen because of the fact of what we all know, and the legacy is taking a hit. And what I can guarantee you, because I can't say too much, is that once this is done, meaning Tim's sentencing, there will be a lot more coming out. Stay tuned. That's all I'm giving y'all, but don't go far. So with that, I'm like, ooh, it may not be the same. I mean, but there are some people that still support. I mean, I went during the trial, but I was being nosy. And the food ain't, for me, it ain't enough that I want to go back. Now I'm going back for that Chinese food at Lefty's. That I'm going back for that fried rice. But like that was like, ooh, Sweetie Pie was like, like my mama can't cook and she can cook better than this. I'm doing too much. But no, let me go to y'all comments. That's all I got to say about that. Y'all, maybe y'all got some questions or something. Then we're gonna wrap it up. We might wrap it up before the 2-hour mark if y'all done. Thank you so much, Valerie, for the super chat. I really appreciate y'all with that. It's very, very, very helpful. More than y'all know. So much. It's expensive doing this stuff, y'all, and I'm trying to grow us at the same time and pay my bills and get out of debt. Power dynamics for life. What doors? The front door. I hate I don't have a picture convenient here for you. But the front doors. So they're, well, I'm assuming they're talking about the front doors because they could also be. Let me see again what they said, because it said a set of doors. Wait, is that the right area? Yeah, it says a set of double entry doors. Well, it says entry. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it's the front doors, but I mean, the place is being torn down completely. Like they ain't repurposing it for the VA hospital. That thing is coming down. Like that. If I remember the plans correctly, that becomes a parking lot. Like that's a part of like, or grass or something. It's a part of the land piece. I don't think any other buildings were really located right there. So yeah, I don't know which doors, but now that I'm thinking, like they got a few entry doors. So I don't know. What we got? Dang, she don't want the sign. I mean, what you gonna do with that big ass sign? Like, really, that sign is huge. I don't know if you've been there, Prestigy, or any of you, but that sign is huge. I don't think the photos and stuff kind of do it justice. It's pretty big. That thing is, it's probably taller than, I'm 6 feet, and it's probably as tall or taller than me. It's a pretty bulky sign. It's kind of like, if you don't have another restaurant to put it on, what else are you gonna do with it? And they probably, if she does open another restaurant, may not call it the same. Now that might be a way for them to remain in business in St. Louis, and just create a whole different name and just, sell what they've been selling. So those who ain't looking to support won't even know they supporting. They'll be like, oh, there's a new mediocre soul food place opening up down the street. Let me go eat there. Lisa Diane Hunt, I think that Miss Robbie really needs money after Tim's trial, and I just think if his appeal is a verdict. I honestly don't. I see people comment that all the time, Diane, about Miss Robbie needing money. I don't think she does. I mean, you got to look at his. This might have ran them, 100,000 or so, maybe a little over. She's a multimillionaire. So I don't think she was going into business trying to open a dispensary. Months ago, I read that article. Now they failed the application process because they didn't submit everything they needed to submit, the people she was investing with. But Ms. Robbie ain't broke. Tim's $100,000. You got to keep in mind, even just the conversation during the trial that we talked about, where Tim was walking away with, upwards of $40,000, $50,000 in cash every week from the restaurants, like for his pockets, not the money that was literally going into the banks. This is the extra money he was shaving off the top. So $100,000 for his attorney, she only got she had 2 restaurants prior to this one closing. But yeah, I'm not looking at it. I don't think she's broke. I don't think she needed this restaurant's money to do what they just did. Now, talk to us in 10 years, it might be a different story. Because you got to look at how much money she's even earned. She was a multimillionaire even before the show ended. Like that's when they started to really start banking. And then that's been, almost close to a decade ago. So, yeah. I've been wanting to say that because when I see that, I'm like, yeah, no, y'all, she multimillionaire, $100,000 case. Even let's say the attorney cost them $200,000. That's still not breaking her rather. Wanted to click on this. You can sell doors. You can sell doors. I learned something new today. Hell yeah, you can sell doors. I used to be in construction. I was a contractor and all of that from the age of 19 to like 35. I think is when I really retired. Like nobody asked me to do nothing else because my family, everything, some went wrong. Or somebody need a basement remodel. Call Vail. No. Took me years of doing jobs I didn't want to do anymore to be like, finally, no means no. Stop it. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. You can repurpose doors. Like it's all about how you dismantle them. But yeah, absolutely. Windows too. Like again, depending on how you take them down, you got to be cautious when you're doing it. That legacy is over. Yeah, I sigh because I know things now that I didn't before that aren't even public yet. And as bad as I was trying to hang on, I just can sigh. All I can do is just Like, it's sad on so many levels. Tiana Yvonne Vale, who was being sentenced next for Andre's demise. That is my God, why is my brain? I'm hungry. That's what it is. I'm hungry because all I have is a smoothie and I'm starving. Like, why is my brain shutting down? It needs nutrients rather. YL's sentencing is on November 1st, and that's the next one. And I'll of course, I'll be there. God willing, I'll be there. I just remember probably need to book my Airbnb now because I think I didn't. And then then Terica. Oh God, my brain. Y'all put it in the chat if y'all. Oh, I got the chat covered up. I can't see it. Y'all put it in the chat. Terica's date if you remember, because I'm just going blank right now. And then Tim's is March 3rd or something. Terica's is January 10th or 11th. January 10th or 11th. And then Tim's is March like 3rd or something. It's off the top of my head, y'all, but those are like they're within those dates. I see a comment. Okay, so I'm gonna handle this start, and then I'm gonna hop into the live chat for our last 9 minutes or 8 minutes and some seconds. Who is going to buy that stuff? You giggling? What do you mean? Who's going to buy that stuff? Like restaurant owners and people who, like they're selling utensils. They're selling. Well, I don't know if you kind of trying to. January 10th. Thank you. My thing don't tell me whose number that is, and I'm bad with numbers. But somebody just texted me saying that Terica's is January 10th. Her sentencing. Excuse me. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm going through it this morning. What's happening? But yeah, I mean, if I had a restaurant or was about to open one and all of that, I would go there for sure. Like some of that stuff is beat up. I don't know if that's why you're giggling, because it is. Like, but no, it's still some good stuff there. Yeah, absolutely. Oh Lord, I took that. Okay, wait. Now I can't get that off the screen. Oh, I know how. Okay. Here we go. Thank you, Miss Southern Belle. Miss Robbie's net worth is 12 million. See, y'all keep trying to make the woman. I know y'all want her to be broke from this. I don't know if it's wishful thinking, but yes, Miss Robbie's, and I don't know if that was Googled or whatever, and so sometimes that could be a little off. But we know it's tens of millions. Miss Robbie ain't broke. This Tim's situation ain't broke her, and that's I think if it. And I say this because of the type of woman Miss Robbie is, based on what we saw on TV. She still was all about her money. And I truly believe that if it was like supporting Tim through this was going to bankrupt her, I don't believe she would have done it. I honestly don't. I think it's because I got so much money that I could do this and still be okay, like for the rest of my life. I think it's the reason that she did it. I'm being funny about people buying stuff. Yeah, I figured as much. Tim baby boy have lived with this legacy and kids teasing him. It was something else. Oh, this was the one. Do you come outside the court live with updates? In general, probably no. But I did a few times, like once the trial, like it was just so much happening so quickly. I started trying to do like little quick video updates when I could. But I didn't do it for the sentencing. I almost did, but I was also trying to get on the road and all of that. I probably may. I don't know. It just honestly is like depends on what's happening, and then depend on how I feel and all of that too. Honestly, it depends. So there's no. That's not really a full answer, but it depends. It depends. That's the answer. Right. You're saying, I think for the restaurant, Timoni, that they'll probably open a restaurant outside of the St. Louis area. Yeah, I mean, because she's a businesswoman at the end of the day, and I don't know if she's still so hell bent on her legacy in regards to the family anymore. She wanted to create generational wealth and leave something behind for them, and I don't know how important that is to her all these years later, especially with all that that they've been through. And then it doesn't look like the majority of the family is still working there and all that. So I don't know. What we got? We got 5 minutes. I'm just trying to make it even in and seeing what y'all see if I missed anything. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. Same with the cobbler. We talking about the peach cobbler? They had like pear cobbler and something else there, didn't they? I had the peach cobbler when I was there recently because I love peach cobbler, and it was actually good. That was good. Everything else was a little mediocre. Miss Southern Belle, but you're saying if they're gonna reopen, they should keep the sign. I think that depends though, because that sign is huge and it's made for that particular building. Wherever they might move may not be able to accommodate that sign. On top of that, chances are it's not going to be called the upper crust. So they would still end up having to redo the inside of that. It's probably just not worth it. And then you got to store it. And how long are you storing it? It might by the end of it all, it might just be worth it to just trash, not even trash, make money off this one. Because they may make more money off this sign, to be honest, as a memento or keepsake, because most likely whoever's buying it is buying it because it says Sweetie Pies, not that they finna repurpose it. And so they probably finna make, $5,000-$10,000 off that sign, if not more. Just and the sign that they might need to buy might only be $8,000. So I get why they're getting rid. I would get rid of it too. It probably doesn't hold sentimental value in the same way anymore for her. Well, I missed that what you just said, something about JSO Extra and a pear cobbler. Tiana Yvonne Vale, thank you for including some of the balloon release footage in your commercial break videos. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was so happy that that it just time worked out where I had delayed getting that done, that video done. And by the time I was inspired, then we had all this extra stuff, and I had the knowledge that Michelle Griggs was the catalyst for even how we got to where we are right now. I didn't know that because if you now, those of you who've been literally with me for 2 years since the beginning of me covering this, over 2 years now, you'll know that we talked about how this case even got reopened because it was a cold case, and we talked about how there was like so much violence in St. Louis, and they ended up getting some government funding to be able to do I'm forgetting the name of it, Operation Legion, I think is what it was called. And it was a thing where they joined all these different law enforcement agencies together because they had the funding. And Andre's case was one of them that got picked up. Well, the reason it got picked up was because Michelle Griggs, his mom, was relentless in reaching out to the detectives, like they said, nearly almost daily, saying, hey, what's happening with my case, with my son's case, and and this and that. And so when they got that funding to be able to get extra assistance through the FBI, because y'all got to, remember the FBI is really who shut this down. Like, because at first they just thought it was a local crime. But anyway, that's how we ended up getting here. So that then had me aware that the reason we got these sentencing hearings and we're celebrating justice for Andre, we can't celebrate justice for Andre without putting in the forefront the catalyst for this occurring, who is his mom. And that's such a blessing to be able to be the person getting justice for your son when someone tragically takes him like that. So yeah. JSO Extra said the peach cobbler was a major pear cobbler rather was a I've never had pear cobbler, and I was actually pulling clips for the trailer that we're talking about. I ran into an episode where Oprah went to the mangrove location, and Miss Robbie had her trying to pear cobbler. I'm like, pear cobbler? But I don't know. I've never had it, so it might be amazing. All right, I'm gonna do one more comment, and then I'm gonna let you get people. I'm gonna close out with everything. Thank you so much, Precious. You're doing an amazing job with updates, Ville. You stayed on it. Yeah, no, honestly, I want to do a lot better. And I want to read this last one because it looks interesting. Linda Patrick says, Miss Robbie isn't broke by any means. She gave her son financial support until the end. That name is forever tarnished moving forward. So she finally closed. The generational legacy is no longer. I guess that's a way to end it. So yes. So what do I have here? Thank everyone for the super chats. Everyone who sent that. I greatly appreciate it more than you know. Thank you for my moderators on the front end, Lisa, Diane Hunt, and I'm scrolling real quick, so I'm hoping I'm not missing nobody. I saw somebody else. Who was that? Tisha W. Thank you, ladies, so much. And anyone else and Letitia Campbell. Thank you, ladies, so much for helping moderate on the front end. And then also on this side, on our back end for StreamYard, we have Alice Blessed Child of God. Thank you so much. Also, good people, Alice has officially started her channel, her YouTube channel, and she has started posting. She has her first video up. And so please add your support to one of our VIP members who is supporting me. She does a great job being with me literally almost every single live and helping with how you see these things run. The smooth parts, not the other parts. So this is her channel name, Accentuating the Positive. Let's help get her to, her 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours so she can get money. So for those of you who don't know, that's how you start earning money on YouTube. 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time. So you got to have people watch 4,000 minutes, 4,000 hours of your YouTube channel. But yeah, other than that, if you don't want the party to end and you're like, oh, we done already, the party continues on our VIP Facebook community. It's a private community. It's purpose driven. We have fun over there, and I'm gonna share these videos and stuff. I'm gonna probably eat. No, I'm not gonna eat. I'm not gonna eat for a minute. But anyway, I'll share those videos I told y'all about in this broadcast in the next few hours or whatever. So you still got time to join and see. Well, even unlike our VIP text community, because I was thinking about this yesterday, the great thing I love about this group as well is that when I post things, now we don't have to worry about, oh, you joined after I had posted, so you can't see nothing from the past. Well, with our VIP community, you're able to see everything I posted, even if it was last month. So everything I started posting on Friday, you can see all of that and more. I have some little stories, some anecdotal stories, and sharing some little tidbits. Oh, happy birthday to my mother, who, well, she doesn't mind. She's a youthful 69 years old today. And so I put that in our VIP community as well. And a little old photo of my mom twisting my leg way up in the sky backwards. I'm like, what is she doing to me? But anyway, thank you to my mom. She has been the biggest supporter of this. She watches all of my YouTube videos and gets on me when she like, I ain't seen no video in a while. You okay? So with that, yeah. Thank all of you for your support, and I will see you guys in our next video.